Hello, beautiful souls. It's the little reader here. Welcome back to my house. Today we're going to be reading about how to raise your vibration through healing. So whatever it is you may be experiencing right now, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual, we are going to look at what can be realized. It doesn't always have to be an action. It could simply be a realization that can mobilize you towards healing and get you feeling your absolute best. So today, let's talk about what piles we have. We have this beautiful Kyanite pile, and Kyanite is known as one of the stones of love. With Kyanite, we're using the Wild Unknown Tarot. Then we have our Smoky Quartz. Smoky Quartz is a grounding and manifesting crystal. And with Smoky Quartz, we are using the Witchy Cauldron Learning Tarot cards. Then we have our green Fluorite. And with our Fluorite pile, we're using the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle deck. And then lastly, we are using the Mushroom Hunter's Tarot with this beautiful Shaman quartz. So take a moment to look at the piles and just feel which energy draws you. You may have been looking at the thumbnail and immediately seen a pile that drew you in, or you may be looking at the crystals and feeling yourself being drawn to one crew or another. So you might be part of my Kyanite crew, you might be part of my Smoky Quartz crew, you might be part of my green Fluorite crew, or my Shaman Quartz crew. And if you don't feel drawn to any pile in particular, feel free to try one out. If it doesn't resonate, sound, or feel exactly right, then maybe it's not the pile for you. You can try another one, or you can move on. There's so many incredible readers on YouTube who might have just what you're looking for. So take a moment to choose your pile, and then we're going to jump right into it. Hello, Kyanite crew. If you chose this beautiful pink Kyanite, which it might be hard to see, especially in this strange lighting we have going on, but there is some pink/lavender undertones in this Kyanite stone, high vibrating stone of love. If you are part of my Kyanite crew, then hold on tight because we're going to be looking at you. I'm going to pop you right over here to the side, Kyanite representing. So the first thing we're going to do with the Wild Unknown Tarot is look at who you are and what you may be experiencing. So remember, the objective of today is to talk about healing, raising your vibration. What does that mean? It means we're all part light and part sound. And our vibration is like the humming, thrumming, vibrating speed of not just our cells in our body, but our actual spirit, our actual life force. And things that can change our vibration are our attitude, our mood, our emotions. The heart is electromagnetic, so it creates a field around us that can affect our vibration. So when we raise our vibration, we simply vibrate at a faster speed, which allows us to be more in tune with the subtle realms and also raise our dimensional awareness. So we can be going from the dense third dimension up to the fifth dimension, which is kind of something that's happening globally on Earth right now. So it's always nice to raise our vibration, especially if we're feeling a little sick or we're feeling like our bodies are not performing at their highest capability, or our minds or spirits, something's just off. It's always a good opportunity to raise our vibration. Another great reason to raise our vibration is for manifestation. So if we're looking to manifest something particular and we feel like it hasn't happened yet, raising our vibration is a great way to see if A, that's really in alignment with us, and B, if it's something that we even are close to, far from, or even desire. Okay, so just starting with channeling, before I even deal the cards from the deck. With my Kyanite crew, I'm already feeling kind of a sluggishness, a sleepiness, possibly a feeling of kind of loneliness and isolation. I'm going to shuffle again. So we're going to start out and say where, maybe something going on in the throat, possibly a cold, strep, throat infection maybe. where is my Kyanite crew right now? What are they feeling? Who are they? And what are they feeling? All right. Okay. So we have the Mother of Wands in reverse. We have Strength upright. We have the Three of Pentacles upright. And we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So I'm definitely sensing that there is some serious stress going on. The stress may be the result of changes that are going on in your life. It could be related to an enormous single event, like something is happening right now that makes you feel overwhelmed. Either you're trying to push through some kind of obstacle or push through something that is going to get you to the next level. It could be work related, like a promotion, or it could be something going on at home, possibly someone temporarily staying in your home with your family, some kind of shift related to your community. I'm definitely seeing that either family members or close friends could be involved with this. And if you're very close to your coworkers at work, it could be related to this strain. And whereas you would normally push right through pretty well, at this stage, your body is tired. You're tired of nurturing, you're tired of giving. It connects back to this Mother of Wands energy, which is usually your ability to support others, support yourself, provide the nurturing, provide the generosity and the fire and the initiative, irrespective of your gender or whether or not you're a mother. This is related to powerful yin feminine energy. So creativity, giving, nurturing. Your ability to do that as you usually would is being stopped. Now you're absolutely powerful and very strong. So this is not going to stop you, Kyanite crew, but I can absolutely see why you were attracted to the Stone of Love, because this is a feminine energy and it is all about love, community, giving, soulmate connections. I don't feel like this is directly connected to a soulmate or a partner right now. It seems now your partnership could be challenged by whatever this obstacle is, but I don't think that it is directly because of your partner or because of the person that you're with or the person that you are talking to or trying to attract. Instead, I feel like this is related to either your family or your friends group or your coworkers. So now that we have an idea of what it is you're kind of dealing with, let's start looking at some solutions for you. So the first thing I want to say that we're doing today with all of my crews is we're going to be looking at a very special deck. In addition to some oracle cards, we're going to be looking at the Teal Swan Blind Spot card, which is kind of got a long description, and I'm going to read it all out for you to make sure you don't miss a thing. This blind spot is an area that you can't see right now, that you're not aware of, but once you are made aware of it, can be a conduit to healing. Before we get there though, we're going to look at the Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle cards. So what could be a remedy to raise the vibration here? For my Kyanite crew. So I'm looking for a couple of cards. I'd like 2, but I'm open to 3. So what can be a remedy for my Kyanite crew to help them build more strength to get through this obstacle? Okay. Okay, I guess we're going 3. Easy does it. So these Archangel Raphael cards are really beautiful because they speak to this energy of Archangel Raphael. Now, It doesn't matter if you believe in archangels or angels at all. This energy of Archangel Raphael is powerful because it is an archetype that exists in so many people's minds, but it also represents a very specific frequency. And that frequency is not attached to the image of an angel. It can appear as this color, this rich emerald green. It can appear in shapes. It can appear geometrically, and it still has the power to alter your perception and your consciousness, even outside of the angelic archetype. So I just wanted to mention that before I read the prayer on this Easy Does It card. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me detach, retreat, and let go so that healing can occur. So what I'm feeling here, my beautiful Kyanite crew, is that you are attached to the outcome that's going on here. And as we saw with these cards, this Three of Pentacles, which typically speaks to community sharing, communal sharing of resources. It has to do with perhaps money. It has to do with gatherings. When we see that in conjunction with your Eight of Swords in reverse, I can see that there's some kind of shift going on, and while you're trying to be strong and provide that support, there is possibly an attachment to the outcome. And in order to ease your body, ease your mind, and ease your spirit, we've got to let go of the attachment to the outcome of whatever it is you're trying to achieve here. So whether that's promotion, whether it's introducing a new person into the home, perhaps a new animal into the home, I'm hearing, like bringing a pet into the home that has some wild energy. We have to go easy on yourself and let go of the outcome and understand that spirit and your resources are going to guide this. This is being divinely guided, and you don't have to orchestrate. You just have to be strong for yourself and for your loved ones. And by be strong, I simply mean be allowing, be accepting. So we have leave a stressful situation behind. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for giving me the courage and willingness to take good care of myself, including surrounding myself with healthy relationships and positive situations. So, if we are dealing with people here, and we are dealing with family members, and we're dealing with people who you can't necessarily remove from your life, although I would say you do have the power to create strong boundaries with people, even if they are your family members or coworkers. You don't have to be trapped specifically with a specific group of people. And if you feel trapped, you can ask for an alternative to be given to you. So if it's possible to leave a stressful situation behind, then do so. I'm also hearing that you may already be in the process of leaving a stressful situation behind. You may be moving. You may be transitioning. You may be going through a change, which is represented here, and you're in your chrysalis state, but it's for whatever reason obstructed or more difficult than you expected it to be right now. And if that's the case, I give you major kudos, my beautiful Kyanites, because it's difficult to leave a stressful situation behind, but it's incredibly beneficial to your overall well-being. And then finally, detoxification. So dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for cleaning up my body, mind, and life so that I may happily and healthfully live free of chemicals. Now, while I believe this is the chemicals may be intended to refer to substances, it may be intended to refer to sugar or GMOs, I'm also hearing a very specific message that it may be time to release reality television. That's what I'm hearing for some people. Doom scrolling on social media is something else that I'm hearing. Or specifically scrolling family member or friends' Instagram pages or somebody's social media feed that may seem perhaps a boss or a former coworker or a competitor, if this has to do with career, someone who competes with you in your field. If you're scrolling through their content or engaging with their social medias, that may also be something that it's time to detoxify and let go of, to leave the stressful situation that's in your mind behind. As we see in this is a Swords card, so this is directly related to the element of air, which is related to the mind. But we want to detoxify our body as well. So if there is anything that you are consuming that you're already aware of has an effect on your physicality in a negative way, This could be a substance. This could be a pain medication or a prescription medication that there may be an alternative for. Or this could be certain types of foods. Perhaps maybe you have like a gluten allergy or sensitivity and still like to indulge because this is a stressful situation. Ooh, I hear a plane going by. Do you hear that? If you have a stressful situation that you're leaving behind, maybe you're gonna have to get on a plane to do it. But for your detoxification, if there is some kind of something that you're aware of intuitively that adds weight to your body and is not contributing to your inner strength, that instead weakens you and makes you have to kind of go extra hard to support your own healing. It draws from the reserves. Then it's time to let that go. So that is our Archangel Raphael. Now let's take a look at some possible actions from the beautiful Mushroom Spirits Oracle. Actions or energies that could be part of this situation that we want to be aware of. And we'll just channel this intuitively. So how are you doing, my beautiful Kyanite crew? How are you feeling? I'm feeling like there are some walls up here, and it might be time for those walls to come down. Is there something that you've been wanting to say to somebody? A truth that you've been wanting to tell? Something that you'd like to share? Maybe it's just asking for help. That may be what it is. Saying, hey, I'm stressed right now. I need help. Oh yeah, I feel the walls immediately come down when I say that. I'm stressed right now. I need help. I can't see the forest for the trees. I think that might be something for you to hold in your heart, Kyanite crew. Asking for help. All right, so what are some energies or action steps that we can take that are related to this situation? Defense and balance. Chaga mushrooms are wonderful for immune system support. Wow, and rapport apparently. Blue pink gill, rarity. Oh, amethyst deceiver, deception. So I believe I read that this is not a poisonous mushroom, the amethyst deceiver, but it turns purple and it looks very similar to a mushroom that is poisonous. So it can actually give the wrong message out, which means that what I'm seeing here, first and foremost, is this is already an unusual situation for you to find yourself in. You are typically a pillar of strength and find that you can be nurturing and giving almost to no end. I wouldn't say people pleaser because I think that you have asserted your boundaries powerfully in the past and you're certainly learning how to assert your boundaries more powerfully. But I would say that typically you can give freely because you're just not drained enough. For whatever reason, your reserves aren't typically touched. But this situation is unusual in that it is testing you in ways that you aren't normally tested. And I can see that it's extremely draining to the point that you need defense. Like you actually need to be protected from this situation. So the first thing that we want to do to help raise your vibration is we're going to say a prayer here to call in your spiritual team, your guides, your protective group, whether you believe in spirit guides, angels, the Holy Spirit, from another religion, some type of archetype or individual. I'm going to say just broadly and generally to spirit, for this beautiful Kyanite crew, please send in their defenses immediately. Protect them, body, mind, and spirit, and help them to recognize and speak forth the boundaries that are going to give them a wall of protection a beautiful wall of light that bounces off any negativity or draining and allows them to absorb the love and support that they so deserve. Because remember, Kyanite crew, above all, you deserve love. So that's looking at your defense and balance. With your rarity, we've already identified that this is a rare situation, but it also seems like this situation is close to an end. We have 1 + 8, which reduces to 9, and 9 is all about fruition. So this situation or obstacle that you're facing may have been something that has been building up for a long time, but it seems like it's close to an end. It's coming to a head. It is going to be drawing to a close soon. And then as far as the Amethyst Deceiver, the deception card, what I'm seeing here is that it's possible that you may think this situation is more serious than it is. And I also get the sense that you're trying to protect somebody or something from a hard truth or a difficult reality. And in doing so, there may be an aura of deception here. For example, if you are trying to protect a child from the reality of divorce, it may be time to understand that it is very loving to be truthful. And it is very loving to have your own boundaries and protect yourself and protect your own needs to show that child what self-love looks like. So if there is any element of deception coming from you, we want to remedy that with truth and honesty. Again, throat chakra vibes. And it's important for you to understand, my beautiful Kyanite crew, that the situation is not as dire as it seems. So if there's a lot of mental strain going on here and you feel like you can't complete a personal transformation because of all the mental strain of these swords falling into your cocoon and essentially assaulting your peace, I want you to know the swords are hovering above in this reversed 8 of Swords, but they're not touching that cocoon. They're hovering there, but that's in your mind. They're not actually touching you. So understand that it is worse than it looks. Understand that it's close to closing, and understand that it's time to put up your own defenses, your own wall of light, and ask for help. And be honest when and where you can. Okay, so now what I'm most excited for is this blind spot oracle, and it's going to involve a good deal of reading, but I love to read. That's why they call me the little reader. So let's find out what, whoops, we have a flipped card in there. What is the blind spot that you're not seeing about this situation? What is the blind spot that my beautiful Kyanite crew, and remember, you're not alone. Because this is general reading, there are so many others who are going through this exact situation. I've been in this exact situation before. This is what happens when we are strong, badass warriors, is sometimes we go a little too hard on warrior mode and we start to feel our own well-being and our own essence become challenged. But with the right dosage of love and understanding, that can be remedied. And again, Kyanite crew, you deserve love. Okay, so for my Kyanite crew, Oh, our rose quartz moved a little bit as an affirmation. You deserve love. Ah. There it is. Okay, we're just pulling one because this is a big daddy of information. And we're not going to be able to see too much except this beautiful sigil. If you want to screenshot this sigil, please do so, because just the sigil alone has a very distinct energy that can have an effect on our cells, on our body, on our vibration, just through osmosis, just through seeing it. So this is number 45, which does reduce to number 9, which once again is a situation that's very at the end of its close. We're going to take a look in the book and look at number 45. Ah. Okay, so a lot about perception here, and this goes with our deception oracle card. So if you want to take a screenshot, by all means, please do so. And then there's more on this side. and then I'm going to read it for you right now. So, the filter. If you've drawn this sigil, you are seeing the situation at hand through a filter and you don't even know it. As a result, you are not seeing the situation clearly. All of us have a perspective. Perspectives are limited in that unless we are using a totally objective perspective, our perspective is subjective. An object will look different depending on what perspective you have of that object. Each perspective is a different angle on something. Our perspectives shape our experiences, and our experiences shape our perspective. We could look at an objective perspective as the amalgamation of all subjective perspectives relating to something. A child will have a totally different perspective of the family home than the parent will. A doctor will have a totally different perspective about a medical crisis than the patient. You can imagine subjective perspective to be like looking through a single telescope. As if our subjective perspective were not limited enough, what makes this even more limited and the view through it less accurate is that we also see the world from our limited perspective through filters. As if looking through a single telescope at the world isn't bad enough, the lens we are using has a filter on it. This distorts the reality of whatever we are looking at. We can recognize the limits of someone's perspective and see their filters. However, we have a very hard time recognizing the limits of our own perspective, and we have a very hard time recognizing our own filters. A filter is literally anything that shapes or distorts our perception of something. They can be thoughts passed down to us, information we are fed, beliefs we have been conditioned to adopt, ways the information is presented to us, experiences we have had, and meanings that we assign to experiences, just to name a few. We begin adopting filters for our telescopes even before we are born, and not only do they distort our capacity to see things clearly, to see what is real, they can also ruin our lives. For example, let's imagine that at 3 years old, a child is attacked by a dog. This will create a filter that dogs will attack them that could persist until adulthood. The rest of us who love dogs will tell you that this experience is not only rare, it is entirely avoidable if someone is actually doing the right things with their dog. We have all kinds of other experiences that shape our perspective that dogs are wonderful and much less dangerous than people. But the filter through which this person sees dogs can shape their entire life relative to dogs. They will see dogs in a totally inaccurate way. Or, for example, a child might have a super loving experience with her mother. As a result, she sees the universe through the lens that everything is there to support her. She may not even notice people who are not around her with her best interests in mind because of this filter through which she sees the world. Some of these filters are beneficial, some of them are detrimental, but regardless of whether they are beneficial or detrimental, the thing to be aware of is that they are not necessarily accurate. They might just be totally distorting your capacity to see what is real. Every filter we adopt will change the way we see the world and the way we see ourselves. Every filter will shape our life experience, the things we think and say and do. There is nothing in this world more dangerous than a subjective perspective that is mistaken for objective perspective. There is nothing more dangerous than a filter that distorts our capacity to see what is real. If you have drawn this sigil, you have a filter that is distorting your capacity to see what is real. You are mistaking your distorted subjective perspective for objective perspective. Question your perception and step outside your limited and highly individual perspective relative to the situation. Consider every other perspective you can relative to the situation at hand. Oh my goodness. So let's do a little bit of channeling right now, my beautiful Kyanites, to see what it is that is being distorted here. So the first thing I got was having to do with the group, the people either in your home or your coworkers or who are related to this obstacle or this stressor. I'm hearing the word gossip. I'm hearing that you may be creating gossip in your own mind relative to this situation, what you think other people are saying about the situation that is not being said at all. And in fact, it may be time for you to go to those exact people and ask for their help. Whoever is in your mind as an enemy or a naysayer may actually be appearing in your mind because they have some kind of gift or assistance to offer, but they're appearing in your mind with this negative bent or this negative tone, which isn't actually reality. And again, it connects back to our Eight of Swords card in reverse. This is a self-created sort of mental agony or mental stressor. And we can speak with these individuals and gain their help. instead of assume that they are out to get us. If we know that there is someone who is out to get us, we wish them well. We remove ourselves from that stressful situation. We detoxify from them. Ooh. And we move on. But what we don't want to do is self-deceive. So, in our final piece of this reading, my beautiful Kyanite, we're going to get some messages from your guides and see what my Kyanite crew needs to know about this situation and how to raise their vibration. Consult an expert. More information is needed. Contact someone with expertise in this area. So this is exactly what we just mentioned, which is the people who are coming up in your mind as possible enemies or frenemies or people who are trying to sabotage you in some way may actually be people who you can speak to. They may be coming up in your mind because they're an energetic match to the situation, but not in an inherently negative way. It's because they've been there before. So look at the people you're thinking of as enemies or obstacles and actually think of them as experts in this moment and ask them for help. Say, hey, I'm dealing with this situation right now. Maybe you've been here before, you're familiar with it. What can you tell me? Healing heart. You are a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. Yes, yes, my beautiful Kyanite crew. You are powerful healers and you're natural lovers. And you're naturally drawn to generosity and giving of yourself and helping when you can. And I absolutely love that about you. So keep doing the healing work. Coming to this video and looking for this message is a sign that you are on the path of healing and raising your vibration. It will probably have raised by the time you close this message out. And finally, protection. You, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. And that is absolutely true. Not only is this situation not as bad as you think and not going to end poorly, you are going to get over this obstacle. You are going to heal your body, spirit, and mind. And you are going to tread forth stronger as a result. We saw that here with your strength card. So you are just so close to having a better night's sleep, to getting through the situation. You are right at the peak. The worst is over and you're going to be on the come down. And all you've got to do is nurture yourself, ask for help, communicate with people openly, get that throat chakra open. I think in this, it almost looks like for heart healing here. I almost see like this hand is touching the throat chakra of this motherly figure. So please feel free to speak your truth and express your needs. And know that you are so close, my beautiful Kyanite crew. If you can just hold out and give yourself all the love. So that is where I am leaving you today, beautiful Kyanites. I'm sending you all the love I've got. Remember above all that you deserve it. You deserve to be nurtured and supported and protected. So until next time, please like, subscribe, leave a comment about how this resonated with you, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello, my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew. Welcome. If you picked this stunning Smoky Quartz point, then I know that you are some kind of masterful genius, because I'm immediately getting this resilient, pow pow bam bam, kind of humorous, kind of light, relaxed energy, for which I'm thanking you because I love your vibe. This Smoky Quartz is going to go join us right here during this reading, and we're going to start out with the Learning Tarot card deck from the Witchy Cauldron. The first thing we're going to do is use this tarot to identify who you are and what type of obstacle you may be experiencing. Then we're going to go through several oracle decks to find out what the solution might be, what energies are involved, and finally advice from your guides about what can be done to either an action or a realization to raise your vibration. Something I'm really excited about is using this Teal Swan Blind Spot Oracle cards to look at what blind spot you may have related to this situation. I wonder if it involves dexterity at all. Whoop, use a better shuffle. Because I am struggling with this deck, and usually it bends very easily to my will. So if you are trying to manifest something, oh, that's slightly better. I wonder if you're experiencing some issues bending the universe to your will. But yes, back to the blind spot oracle cards. I am excited to look at that and see, whoops, we flipped one over here, and see what the blind spot is, and in the very, very detailed booklet that comes along, which we will be reading, to see how that affects your energy. Okay, so for Smoky Quartz, where are they now, and what type of energy blockage or issue or obstacle are they dealing with that they would like to raise their vibration for some kind of healing? All right. Let's see. Okay, so we have the High Priestess in reverse. We have the Hanged Man in reverse, both major arcana cards. So I'm already sensing, you powerful manifestors, you with your high energy, that some kind of manifestation situation is trying to take place. Either that's manifesting a healing. Let's see what it is. Ooh, Page of Wands, enthusiasm, good news. And making investments, Seven of Pentacles. Okay, what I love about the Learning Tarot cards is that they have all these keywords on them. So let's look straight at their keywords and see what they've included. So for the High Priestess on this deck, they say the misuse of intuition, acting on bias or prejudice, manipulativeness, lack of emotional control. For the Hanged Man, they have discontentment, apathy, disinterest, stagnation, impulsiveness, negative patterns, and detachments. Now, in this spread where I've put these two cards as what your obstacle is, and these two cards is where you are, these come up upright, which is very interesting to me. With enthusiasm and the Page of Wands, we see good news, courage, optimism, competition, faithfulness, a courageous, energetic young person. I get the sense that's you. And if you're not young in the traditional sense, like maybe you might be considered no spring chicken, is what I'm hearing, either in experience or age. It's your energy that is young and that is timeless. And then for our Seven of Pentacles, making investments, things coming to fruition, hard work paying off, harvest, rewards, profits, results, payouts, manifestation of ideas or goals, inheritance, cultivation, growing, gestation, nurturing, perseverance, patience, and planning. So I'm actually going to pull two clarifier cards here, because while I completely understand this energy, I'm wondering what's making these two things obstacles. So let us ask, may I get a clarifier for the Page of Wands, please? And a clarifier for the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so the Eight of Swords, escape, freedom, release, finding solutions, options, relief, taking control. And the Four of Cups, seizing opportunities, letting go of regret, end of stagnation, motivation. So traditionally, the Eight of Swords is kind of being all tied up, which is right alongside the Hanged Man here. And this is related to your enthusiasm and your verve, excuse me. Not your verb, although verb is an action word, as I learned in Hooked on Phoenix about 27 years ago, maybe. Anyway, I digress. Although, again, childhood reference, so I am loving and appreciating your childlike enthusiasm and energy, your youthfulness. I feel like you do have a lot of enthusiasm in you normally. And what I'm kind of sensing here is that normally where you're an intuitive manifester who can tap into their creative side, their magical side, if you will, their prophecy side, where you may be able to do all that normally, I think you feel stagnant and stuck in your ability to do that this time. And if there is something that you're trying to manifest or understand or know, for whatever reason you feel totally stopped up. The Hanged Man is typically someone who's been put in a state of pause by the universe or by the divine, and is being told, like, you cannot move forward until you've taken this sacred pause and allowed us to do our work. But when the Hanged Man is in reverse, we see that a little bit more like you've put yourself in a pause. And that pause is either because your heart's not in the situation or because it's not aligning. It might be being forced. You don't have the reserves. And because this is a healing reading, I'm feeling like there may not be the physical resources or something having to do with, if it is because you are older or you're more advanced in age, it may be that you don't feel like you have the strength or the stamina or the physical ability that you used to have to do what's being asked of you or do what's required to make this thing happen. And if it doesn't have to do with your health, if there's a blockage to energy, it might be your money and your resources. While you might want to make an investment and might want to invest your enthusiasm, instead you feel blocked up. Your enthusiasm is blocked by apathy and your ability to make, what is the key word that they've put here? Restriction. That makes perfect sense. So your ability to make investments, as you can see in this card here, which I just realized is not fully in the frame, is blocked by restriction. So I'm getting the sense of being all tied up here. Now, let me take a moment. Let's tap into your physical energy and see if there is, what the image of this looks like on your body. So if I channel this, I see a lot of tension in the shoulders. Maybe, possibly, you may be asthmatic, or you may suffer from COPD or bronchitis or emphysema. I'm seeing like a strain to breathe. I'm even feeling it myself a little bit, like struggling to breathe, a little bit short of breath, maybe not quite in the cardio fitness that you once were. If this is a job that requires mobility, maybe you find that you are in a wheelchair, or maybe you find that you have paralysis in a limb or multiple limbs, and you're being challenged in that your body is required to do more than it's currently capable of doing or will be capable of doing. So if that resonates and that sounds like that is the case, let's start looking at what options we have to bring in healing and to raise the vibration and get that enthusiasm back for you, my beautiful Smoky Quartz. And if it's not a matter of enthusiasm, my Smoky Quartz crew, you might have plenty of that inside of you, because I get a jovial heart and a feeling of lightness and free-spiritedness from you. If it's not that you're missing the enthusiasm, let's see how we can get that enthusiasm to flow through your body, because it may be that you don't have it mentally, and it may be that you do. I'm seeing that both of you are present in my Smoky Quartz crew. But either way, we want to integrate that enthusiasm into your entire being and thereby raise your vibration and your entire flow. So we're going to start with the Archangel Raphael healing deck. Let's shuffle this guy up. If there is something having to do with dexterity or mobility, because I remember also struggling to shuffle, in the very beginning of the reading. Maybe you're bedbound, or maybe you just feel like lethargic or tired, like you don't have, again, verve is the word that keeps coming to me, verve, like you don't have the verve that you used to have. Let's see what that's about. And if that's something you've identified with in the past, like always having a strong body or always being able to just go out and do it, manifest and make things happen, because that is such a Smoky Quartz thing to do, my Smoky Quartz crew. Even if that's not you anymore, you are still so worthy of love, above all. You deserve love. So if that was part of your identity and that's not something that's available to you anymore, I just want you to know still, you deserve love. Okay, so now I gave my beautiful Kyanite crew a speech about this. I'm going to give you the same speech and keep it very short. Even if you don't believe in archangels, there's still an energy associated with what we call archangels in this deck, and it can still affect you and have transformative effects, even if you prefer not to believe in the angel. Ooh, I'm getting another one. Actually, I'm getting 5. Okay. Even if you don't believe in the archangel archetype, if you will, it still has very powerful geometric and vibrational implications just by being exposed to the energy. So let's look at our number 1. Yes. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me. Trust my feelings is the accurate barometer of truth. Okay. Even though that's what the description says, my first impulse with this yes card is that your feelings may be telling you, okay, you have the feeling of want to bring back the enthusiasm, right? Because you feel like you've either lost the enthusiasm or the body has lost the vitality. And I'm feeling from this card that you can say yes. You can believe in yourself and you can trust in yourself, even if you have a feeling that you are trapped or you might not do it to the degree that you think, or rather if you have a fear, I encourage you to allow the enthusiasm that is inside of you to flow out, irrespective of what that fear is. Commit to saying yes and commit to putting forth the energy and doing the best that you can in this situation. Interesting. So my Kyanite crew got this card too, detoxification. So dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for cleaning up my body, mind, and life so I may happily and healthfully live free of chemicals. So we see this call for detoxification here, and this could mean physical detoxification, like letting go of substances, chemicals, genetically modified foods, anything that you may be consuming physically. But just as I told my Kyanite crew, it may also have to do with detoxification from thoughts. If there's a loop of negativity on repeat in your mind related to something like, I can't do what I used to, I'm not young anymore, I just don't have the it thing that I used to have. Maybe possibly doom scrolling through social media, looking at other people's accounts and feeds, comparing yourself. That is something we want to detoxify as well, because that's going to be immensely healing and immensely impactful on your vibration. Ooh, use your natural healing abilities. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for clearly guiding, encouraging, and supporting my healing work. So, are you a healer? Is that something that you might be interested in? You did come to a video on healing and vibration raising, which I love. So if you have natural healing abilities and you have in the past either laid hands on people and let them feel your, like if you do Reiki, or if you feel the ability to transfer energy to people, if you have natural healing abilities, you can use them on yourself. So you can turn around and place your own hands on either points of your body that are particularly in need of energy or are receptive to energy, or you can say prayer over yourself. You can ask your guides and spirit for healing. You can ask for a healing or prayer group. You have the ability to heal is what I'm seeing. You have, and I can see that with this smoky quartz energy, you have the enthusiasm and the lightness and the intuition to be able to call in that healing. So that is something that you should know, be aware of. All right, we have fresh air. So dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me breathe easier in all ways. So if you have not moved in a while, if you haven't been out of your house, if you find yourself trapped indoors, then fresh air would be incredibly important for you, particularly if you have asthma, emphysema, COPD, or anything, bronchitis, or anything related to the lungs or the chest, because I did intuitively sense when I was looking at your tarot cards here that there might be some kind of restriction over the chest area, which I saw almost like a sash crossing from one shoulder to the waist to the other shoulder to the waist, like kind of like an X over the chest. So if you can get outside and take deep breaths of fresh air, or If you have an inhaler or a specific medication that you take that empowers you to be able to breathe more freely, or you can speak to your medical provider about how you can improve your breathing, that is something that you can do. Now, if you're at a stage where you're doing the most you can physically to breathe more deeply, there are things that are available for you in the alternative world. I have heard, although I am not a medical advisor, so I can't make any medical recommendations, but I have heard and practiced myself the Wim Hof method. There is HRV training, which is something that you can do as a meditation, where you follow a set series of breathing guidance, like 4 seconds in, 6-second hold, 5 seconds out, 4-second hold type of thing. That can help improve breathing capacity if that's something that you don't already practice, as well as visualizing fresh air coming in and cleansing your body. Another thing I see about fresh air and detoxification here is that air is traditionally related to the sword suit in tarot, which represents the mind. So if there is something going on not having literally to do with air, but instead has to do with like stagnant thoughts, or again, a repeating loop of negativity, like, oh, I can't do that thing, that same old thing. I'm just not like I used to be. I don't have it in me anymore. You know, my spark is gone. My thing, my moxie, I'm just not what I was. If those thoughts are on repeat in a loop, not only would physical breathing exercises be amazing, may be amazing. Again, I'm not a medical practitioner and cannot recommend anything to you. But you may also find that visualizing those thoughts out or making a change to your thinking or meditation could be hugely impactful for you positively to bring fresh air to your mind. And finally, forgiveness heals. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, I am willing to forgive myself and others in exchange for what I really want, peace and health. I love that this came up, my Smoky Quartz crew. So we're going to go ahead and say a prayer for you at this stage in the reading, if you're open to it. And I did this with my Kyanite crew, and I intend to do this with my Fluorite crew and my Shaman Quartz crew. So everyone gets a prayer. And I feel that forgiveness is something, not only is it a powerful healer, but it's also something we can pray for help for. So we're praying to whoever you pray to and to whoever I pray to, and to the universe at large for any helpful, benevolent, and love-aligned assistance from those that are aligned with unconditional love as an outcome for all beings. So we pray now, may beautiful Smoky Quartz crew be surrounded by green, incredible, high vibrating light that fills their heart, chest, and lungs with this purifying energy of forgiveness. And that whoever's face comes up in their mind, even if it's their own face, for having disappointed themselves, for not being who they used to be or who they thought they were, or someone else's face, for having made them feel less than or like they did not deserve the love that they so deserve. We ask for forgiveness to cleanse them now, every cell of their body. And as any pain or hurt, sadness, frustration, or anger leaves their body, with a deep breath in and a deep exhale out, in its place, I ask that it is refreshed with powerful, invigorating enthusiasm that lights them up with the mental, spiritual, and physical power to accomplish whatever they dream of, to go in the direction of whatever they dream, and to be reminded that above all, they deserve love. Okay, let's move on to the Mushroom Spirit Oracle and see what energies are related to this obstacle or to this thing that is keeping your vibration a little lower, or this thing that requires healing. Thank you so much for being here, Smoky Quartz crew. Breathe deep, as deeply as you can, and know that you are loved. All right. So what do we have for my Smoky Quartz crew? What insights could lead. Ooh, oh my goodness. You're getting more cards than the Kyanite crew. Let go. It's the common puffball, which is amazing at letting go. It's letting go of spores. That's how it respores. Ooh, the morale, restore. My Kyanite crew got this card too. Defense and balance. It's chaga. Chaga is an amazing immune mushroom. I've taken it as a supplement before. I've also had it as a tea, and it kind of tastes like dirt, but that's okay. Ooh, and violet coral, community. Okay, so this is 13, 12, 2 and 35. What am I seeing here? 12 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 3 and 2. Okay. So this is reminiscent of everything we've discussed so far. So I don't feel that we need to spend an incredible amount of time here. We're going to do... Okay, I will spend an incredible amount of time with you. I want to. I love to. I have no problem doing that. But because we have such an enormous reading to look at your blind spot, we will use our time wisely. So with the common puffball, something that we want to do is let go. And this is directly in line with the forgiveness that we just looked at right now. So if you are feeling a little worn out after that forgiveness prayer, I can still feel the enthusiasm and vitality and just beautiful energy that is you inside of you. But if you're feeling a little drained after that forgiveness moment, it might have cut deep, or you might be like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Forgiveness what? Forgiveness who? In either scenario, I'm seeing forgiveness is a major player in getting through this moment in your life and in healing to the best of your ability to whatever your highest potential is and to raising your vibration and frequency. So we have it again here with let go. Forgiveness is the act of letting go. And I think what's holding you down in this hanged man position, again, by your own free will, is kind of a resistance towards forgiveness and a resistance towards letting go. Because once again, the hanged man upright is being held by spirit and the universe. The hanged man in reverse is being held by ourselves. So identify what it is that can be forgiven, and then forgive. Forgive the person, forgive the place, forgive the event, forgive yourself. There's so many incredible practices and meditations for forgiveness. Insight Timer is a great place to start. I don't work for them, but I use their app every day, twice a day, because meditation is my hero. And I've had some incredible forgiveness experiences through meditation. You can also just visualize seeing yourself here. This is now the common puffball is letting go of its spores, but you are letting go of something that has become part of you and is like ingrained into you that is not your own. And it's time to release that so that you can be free and reclaim all the space and ability and energy that is your own. With this restoration card with the morel, which I believe is a nutritious mushroom, but if you're ever going mushroom hunting and you're not quite sure, don't trust me on that. We want to nourish you physically and emotionally. Something that I did in the prayer and that I encourage you to try once you've gone through more forgiveness work is filling the space that remains after forgiveness with something beautiful. This is a form of restoration. So you fill what's empty, you restore. Your stores have been drained. Now you put something back in, something beautiful. With chaga, this is about immunity. This is about your own defenses. I'm hearing that the thing that you want to be defensive with here is the impulse to hold on, to not let go. Your own need to remember or to slip into stagnation because of so many of the burdens that you've carried in the past, or so many of, I'm hearing cruel words that you've heard, or the defeat that you've felt, failures you may have endured. You have such a powerful fighting spirit, my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew. And even fighters get tired sometimes. Now I feel like you're fighting yourself. And you need to build defense against the inner enemy. And that's possible through love. Remember, above all, you deserve love, Smoky Quartz crew. That's the message here. You deserve love and the highest of vibrations and ultimate healing. So every time you start to fight with yourself about wanting to remember things that hurt, or remember your own shortcomings, or at what you believe are your shortcomings, and I will fight you on that, because I'm not sure that you have shortcomings. You have to balance that. Here we have defense/balance. You have to balance that with, I am worthy of love. I have done so much. I am such a fighter. I am a powerful manifester. I do make things happen, and I don't even have to force it. I can see you have intuitive high priestess qualities, irrespective of your gender or identification. High priestess just means you see things in the other realms. You have intuition, and maybe you've fallen too deep into the shadow of that intuition and the shadow of inaction. But we got to balance that with love when you start to feel that bubbling up. And then with the violet coral community, you are not alone, Smoky Quartz crew. You are unique, and you may be different than what you've been told is normal. You are powerful, you are gifted, you're funny, I can tell. So you might think you don't have a community, or you might not fit in where you've been before, but you do have a community, and you do have a soul tribe. And the more you align with love and accepting yourself for, once again, I'm hearing shortcomings, with what you think are your shortcomings, accept them, love them, put love on them, and then understand that in that way, by living your own truth and alignment, you will attract your community. Okay, now we get to the exciting part, which does involve a lot of reading. So you have to stick with me here, or you can take a screenshot and skip forward, which you're totally welcome to do. But this is the Blind Spot Oracle cards. It is a deck by Teal Swan. It is kind of like a punch in the gut, but we're going to soften it by understanding that we need a punch in the gut sometimes, a loving punch in the gut. That's what the Heimlich maneuver is. When we're choking on something, which I have had the Heimlich maneuver done on me 2 times in my life, by the way. Both times I was choking on ice. Not funny, if you're laughing. Okay, it was a little funny. Yeah, Heimlich maneuver is like a punch to the diaphragm, but it sure does stop us from choking that thing we're choking on. Choking on that thing we're choking on. So, Spirit, for my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew, what do they need to know that they're not seeing here to raise their vibration in here? Which, may I commend you for being here and being interested in doing that? That is such a 5th dimension thing of you to do. Such an elevated, bold, courageous move to heal. It takes more courage than anything I've ever experienced. Okay, we're going to just say that was a shuffle. But these guys are stiff. Okay, what is the blind spot for my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew? Okay. It's a sigil. Now, it doesn't have anything written on it, but the sigil is designed to have a spiritual essence. And by looking at that essence, it can help to begin the unblocking and revealing of this blind spot. So, number 26. And I did notice a number that reduced to 8 in the oracles, I believe. 35. And 8 is a number of change. So I see change coming for you, my beautiful Smoky Quartz. 26. Impact. Okay. I already see something about a kitten dying. So I'm going to say trigger warning on this. And you can screenshot this if you'd like to read it on your own. That's the first part. And then here's the next part. But trigger warning about the kitten. I'm going to skip over the kitten example. And keep reading. So for this card 26, my beautiful Smoky Quartz blind spot is impact. If you've drawn this sigil, you are not seeing the impact that your thoughts, beliefs, words, or actions are having on others. In this situation, you are hurting others, but you aren't aware of it. If you have drawn this sigil, notice how your body language impacts others. Are you choosing words that can be mean or misunderstood and provoke negative feelings? Are you not realizing how you might be casting doubt on the value of others' input or ideas? Are you rationalizing hurting other people by thinking or saying things like, he or she will get over it, or he or she is too sensitive, or they? I'm just being honest, or you have to break an egg to make an omelet. Can you open your mind to see the ways that your decisions and actions are affecting other people? Attunement is being or bringing into harmony. It is a feeling of being at one with something. The best way to imagine attunement is to imagine sitting in your car and reaching for the radio dial. If you want to hear the music being played at a particular frequency, like 98.2 FM, you need to tune your radio dial to 98.2 FM, and then you will hear the music. Your own radio dial needs to be brought into harmony with or become one with the radio channel you want to receive in order to perceive that channel. It's no different with other beings, including people. To be able to perceive other people, to feel and see and hear them, to understand them and communicate with them, you need to attune to them. You need to tune into them as if you are them, so as to be able to feel or imagine the other person's emotional experience and to understand what they are feeling. This is what allows you to know what to do in any given situation to end conflict or improve a situation or to assist someone. Attunement is what gives rise naturally to empathy. The most dangerous people in the world are people who are in an egocentric bubble. They are essentially toddlers in a grown-up body holding kittens by the neck. But these kittens are other people. And even though it would be great if all people just naturally developed out of the egocentric bubble and into attunement, the reality is that some people do not. They stay in a reality built for one. There are people who live by the philosophy that we are totally responsible for how other people feel. And there are people who believe we are in no way responsible for how other people feel. Both polarized views do not represent a full picture of reality, and thus both polarized views lead to suffering. Also, both philosophies have arisen as a way to cope with trauma. But if you have drawn this sigil, you may be currently falling into the second illusionary philosophy. The main problem with this philosophy is that those who support it see themselves as separate, no matter whether they preach oneness or not. Everything you think, say, and do affects the whole. You cannot escape this no matter how hard you try, because oneness is one of the more objective truths of this universe. Many of the people who adhere to the philosophy that they are not responsible for how anyone else feels think they have it all figured out because they aren't in a lot of pain. But they are not in a lot of pain because they have found ways to dissociate from feeling in and of itself. They have created coping mechanisms to avoid feeling, which automatically includes understanding what others feel. This is because when you are feeling others, you are still feeling them through your own body, and these people are unwilling to do that. If you adhere to the philosophy that you are not responsible for how anyone else feels, you are not in a relationship with anyone but you. As a result, people will treat you like the enemy, making people seem as if they are even more dangerous for you to connect to. If you have drawn this sigil, in this scenario, the only way to be in alignment and in reality is to see that you are negatively impacting others. Recognize how and choose with your free will to be responsible for how other people feel. If you do this, you will not only change your thoughts, words, and actions so you are not causing others pain with those thoughts, words, and actions. So my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew, that is, as I said, a punch in the gut. Every single card from this deck is a punch in the gut, but it is the most healing punch in the gut we can ever receive. So to condense that all down into a few lines, The forgiveness that you afford to yourself also needs to be afforded to others. And if you think that others are responsible for how they feel and your words and deeds have no bearing on that, when you start to forgive yourself and you start to forgive them, it's going to be so much easier to start caring about how they feel, and caring effortlessly without having to go out of your way to manufacture it or try to manipulate anything. It's going to be a much easier matter, but it is going to start with that forgiveness, as we saw, and with that letting go. Because here I see that you want community, and to have community, well, as it was said in the deck, we can't be in a relationship all by ourselves. So the defense and the balance is to defend yourself against any poison or vitriol that might bubble up inside, as it does with all of us, and understand that letting it go and restoring and filling your inner space with love and harmony, forgiveness, is going to enable you to turn any poison into nectar and release this blind spot. Now you can move forward with an understanding that it's time to cultivate deep caring for yourself and deep caring for others, and a deep understanding that you have a ripple. You're a powerful being. Even if you feel paralyzed or immobilized, either physically or mentally, you still have a powerful ripple, and it goes across time and space. And the kinder it is, and the more loving it is and gentle it is, the more you benefit, and the more the entire world benefits. And the more you're going to feel connected to the world and connected to people and feel the enthusiasm that's inside of you again, because you are full of life. So let's set aside the blind spot card. And finally, let's ask your guides for any remaining advice and tips, things you need to know or do. And then I will set you free, my Smoky Quartz crew. And I'm so proud of you for sticking around, listening to that, maybe even taking notes. So Spirit, what can my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew do to seal in this healing? Have faith. Your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. Stay optimistic. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. Okay, have faith and stay optimistic. And make a wish. This is a magical moment. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. So, my Smoky Quartz crew, you're being guarded right now. Guarded and guided and protected. Here, it's not just you, as we saw here, developing a defense and a balance within yourself. The entire universe is looking out for you right now. The whole simulation is being designed for you to have a breakthrough. Perhaps the most powerful breakthrough that you've had in a long time. I saw here 2 major arcana cards for where you are. And that wasn't that one. It was these 2. It was the High Priestess and the Hanged Man. And those are major transitional shifts. Those are happening for your benefit, to develop your character, to break you out of ruts, to break you out of stagnation, and to help you level up to the next best, most vitalic, powerful part of yourself. So, my Smoky Quartz crew, I am sending you all the love I got, because above all, you deserve love. And I am excited for this breakthrough for you. I'm leaving you here now, so if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like. If you want to comment how this resonated, and I'd especially like to hear what you thought of the blind spot card. Yay or nay, on point or not on point, how was it implemented? I'd love to hear it. And if you want to subscribe to see more readings like this, if that's your thing, if you're into it, if you fall down the rabbit hole of these like I do, then please, you might be my first subscriber ever. So join the party, come to my house anytime, and I'm sending you all the love. Bye. Hello, my green fluorite crew. Welcome to your reading. I'm the little reader, and we are looking today at how you can raise your vibration through healing and possibly create physical healing based on where you are now, based on the obstacle that you're experiencing. And then we're going to look at advice in various oracle decks. And something I'm really excited for today is looking at a blind spot that you may have in this situation based on the blind spot oracle cards by Teal Swan. So you're in for a very interesting reading. And starting off right now, now I did choose the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle deck / tarot deck for your reading, and I do say / because it's like a hybrid between a tarot deck and an oracle deck, and if you're familiar with tarot, you'll understand what I mean when I break it open. But true to form, I'm already feeling a super relaxed, kind of mellow vibe. As far as vibration and where there may be an imbalance or blockage, I'm feeling something in the head. So maybe, are you prone to headaches or migraines at all? Or do you have one right now? I feel like it's possible there may be a headache or a migraine or a head injury or recent concussion. You may have anxiety, or you may experience depression. These can kind of have they may be in the head or be talked about being in the head, although they do seem to be, spiritually, in my experience, kind of permeate the entire body. Maybe an ocular eye strain or recent LASIK surgery. But let's get into the deck and see what comes up. I'm also thinking there may be something digestive going on. So if you have stomach aches or IBS or Crohn's disease or something like that, that may be part of a physical symptom here. But we're not just going to look at physical symptoms today. We're going to look at a little bit of everything. So welcome, my green fluorite crew. I'm setting this beautiful little fluorite pyramid over to the side where it will keep us company, and we are getting into it. So how's your day going? How are you doing? If you do engage in cannabis medicine, I would love to hear about it in the comments if that's something that's legal in your state, or if you once did it in a state that was legal and have a story about it. If cannabis is your medicine, I would love to hear more about it, because it would be so cool if that aligned with this deck. Like if you chose this crew and this deck and it aligns with you, that'd be awesome. All right, so Spirit, how is my beautiful green fluorite crew feeling? What are they experiencing? Whoops. What's the obstacle? What's going on? And what's the story? Who are they? And what are they experiencing? Oh, yes. I feel eagerness to share. Are you talkative by any chance? Well, no, maybe you're a mellow introvert, but for those you know, for your friends, they might describe you as anything but an introvert. Okay, no one else got 5 cards in the opening read, so that's pretty fun. Let's see what we got. Ooh, okay, and because this is a new deck for me, I'm going to turn these babies around and just double check. The Witch Doctor, Wisdom in reverse. Creation Solo. Ooh, solo magic in reverse. We have Higher Perception, Passion in reverse. We have Yua with Guidance upright. And we have Sorcery, Revolution in reverse. Very magical, my beautiful green fluorite crew. Okay, I'm getting powerful, high divine magic right off the bat. Are you a magic practitioner by any chance? The first thing I see, and I'm also seeing maybe sexual health or something to do with sex magic, if you're familiar with what that is. And it can be done solo, which is what I think of when I see the solo magic card, and I believe it's referenced in the deck. So already I'm seeing someone who's very powerful in their mind, very powerful in their divine feminine, which has nothing to do with gender. It doesn't matter how you identify. Divine feminine means like yin energy. And when I say yin, I'm talking about yin and yang. Yang is how it's commonly pronounced, although I don't think that's the accurate pronunciation. In the yin-yang symbol, we have light and we have dark. We have shadow, we have light. And shadow is associated with a receptive, introverted kind of energy, whereas light is associated with a projective, extroverted type of energy. And what I'm seeing here is that we have a powerful, intuitive individual who has kind of turned their power in on themselves. And it seems there isn't quite a balance of exercising what you know to be your path, what you know to be true, and what you know to be, and maybe you don't quite know it right now. Okay, it's coming a little clearer. You're an intuitive, intelligent individual, and you are very observant. You pick up a lot about your environment, and you watch people, and perhaps you silently judge them from the background from time to time. And this judgment influences the way that you act or don't act. I'm getting a little bit of cynicism vibes here, to mean that maybe you're over the rat race, maybe you're over the game. You are most intrigued by things of a spiritual nature, things that are dark, things that are taboo, things that are mystical. You may be into manifestation and spirituality, and if so, you may have tried to detach from physical action by way of using spiritual practices. And what I mean by that is you may have decided that, okay, I'm not going to participate in this bullshit of the rat race or, the 9 to 5, or maybe I am, but I'm going to hate every minute of it. And maybe even if you hate every minute of it, you still show up with a good attitude and you do the best that you can. But inside, you're living in another dimension. You're living in another reality. You might just be checked out. And you may dislike your present reality so much that you create a fantasy in your mind to either escape from it or make it through the day. I'm seeing that you do have some kind of connection to the other realms. Again, I sense that you have a strong knowledge of the esoteric. You may even like psychology and philosophy. You may be the stoner philosopher who enjoys getting high and contemplating all the problems of the world but not taking action. And again, you may not be female. We have female energy in every card here, but that doesn't mean that you are female or identify as female. But that means that you have taken a passive role in your life, and you either rely on magic or the sheer power of thought, or maybe you don't rely on anything. Maybe you've just given up at this point to manifest that which you want. But what I see here is a powerful creator who does have the ability to manifest, who does have the ability to use this magic and the power of their thoughts and the power of their essence to create valid, real change in this world, but is not tapping into that for whatever reason. So I'd like to get a little more clarity as to why. Why isn't that being tapped into? And I'm going to actually pull a secondary deck to do that. I'm going to pull the same deck I used for my Smoky Quartz crew and ask, what is the obstacle against tapping into not just tapping in, but playing big? Because right now I get a feeling of playing small, and I'm not feeling a physical ailment per se. I'm feeling a mental overwhelm that has translated into sort of an apathy and a cynicism. And if that doesn't speak to who you are now, if that's something that who you were, or that's something you feel like you've made great strides or progress toward getting over, I think that's incredible. I applaud you. For the purpose of this reading, there may still be residue of that left, or you may not be playing as big as you're capable of playing right now. And that's something that by realizing, you can raise your vibration and your frequency and experience healing. So why isn't my beautiful green fluorite playing big? Why is my beautiful green fluorite playing small? What's going on? Oh, right here. Okay. Oh, let's look at the back of the deck energy. Ooh, King of Cups. Interesting. Okay, 5 of Swords. 4 of Wands. And Knight of Cups. So is there something to do with love going on here, my beautiful green fluorite crew? The first thing I'm seeing is defeat. So at some point, now because the 5 of Swords has to do with air and it has to do with the mind, it's what we already saw initially. which is there is some sort of self-defeating, self-sabotaging behavior going on here, in that either you feel like because of who you've been in the past, you don't have a chance to do better, or you have too much momentum built up against you so far to change your ways now. It's like, oh, well, I've been kind of a non-doer, you know, for all of my life. So I can't do now. Like, why would I do now? Like, I'm just going to kind of sit back and let life have its way with me at this point, because it's already what I've been doing. The next thing I see is there is some sort of isolation or feeling of maybe being the odd man out, or a famous idiom, or I don't even know if it's an idiom, but the saying of the black sheep of the family, like not being welcomed, not being included. Maybe you've always been different. Maybe you've always thought differently. Or maybe you're looked at as like lazy by the family. Maybe the family's like, yeah, green fluorite crew doesn't do much. Like, green fluorite crew kind of just chills around, and whatever green fluorite's gig is, we don't know. And I'm here to tell your family that what your gig is that you're incredibly observant and incredibly creative, and your mind is an incredible place. It's a whole universe that you are interested in exploring and that you enjoy just getting lost in. So I'm happy to have that conversation with them if you'd like. But I feel like that's another defeating factor here. It's like, oh, okay, I already have myself and my own mental situation going on, and then I have kind of the family going on. But I do see a shift here, and this could go one of two ways. Let me put the King of Cups in the frame for you. And I'm sorry we're overlapping other things now. But I'm seeing that you are emotionally intelligent, and you're being inspired to change or inspired to heal. In fact, this may be the very reason that you've come to this reading, is because either the potential of love and emotional satisfaction and fulfillment has made itself known, or you believe that you can, for love, you can become something greater than what you believe you are right now. So in other words, if you have been stagnant, or if you do get lost in your own world, or if you aren't an active participant in life, suddenly either a potential partner has arisen, or the opportunity for emotional fulfillment and connection to yourself. Maybe some of you are working on a creative project or have been inspired to take on a creative project. But what I'm really feeling for most of my beautiful green fluorite crew is that you, my beautiful friends, are potentially being offered an opportunity for love. And that is reinvigorating you. And the first thing I'm hearing is, I've never been able to love myself, but I think I could love me if they love me. And I'm just going to tell you, green fluorite crew, right now, above all, you deserve love. You've always been worthy of love. And even if there is or isn't an offer of love coming from someone outside of you, and you're suddenly motivated because there's a potential for that, you still deserve love. Even if you were the last person on earth, which I think you feel like sometimes, the last person on earth. But you're not. You're here in the little reader's house. And I'm telling you that you deserve love for you. So if there is the opportunity for love coming up, or some kind of creative expression and emotional fulfillment, that is amazing. I'm encouraging you to find the intrinsic, innate love for yourself, because that's going to make whatever offer you're receiving, or whatever potential outcome is going on here with the creativity and the love, that's going to make it so much sweeter, so much more successful if first you dip and dive into the love for yourself without... sometimes it takes a kick, right? Sometimes it takes inspiration and motivation from outside of us. But if you can transmute that, and not transmute, but translate that into loving yourself, whether this works out or not, then you really have something going on, my beautiful green fluorite crew. So let's get to, I was almost going to sing Mulan to you, but I spared you of that. Let's get to looking at our first piece of advice for what the medicine is. What is the medicine for my beautiful green fluorite crew? And wouldn't you know it, it's green. So this is the Archangel Raphael deck, healing deck, oracle cards. And if you don't believe in angels, that is a-okay, my beautiful green fluorite pyramid, because angels are a symbol of an energy that is universal. So what I mean by that is the energy is represented geometrically. It's represented through different cultures as different things, as different archetypes and shapes, but it is there and you can tap into it just by being exposed to it. So if you don't vibe with angels, have no fear. They take many forms. Just take away the message. So for my green fluorite clue, what is the medicine to raise their frequency and experience a healing of this current obstacle? Oh, this is the third time this card has come up. Detoxification. And I'm getting called to go 4. Oh, yeah, 4 is good. Okay, so detoxification, this is the first time that this came up, but because this is my cannabis crew, potentially, I know you might not have anything to do with cannabis or be like, cannabis who? What even is cannabis? If that's not you and it's not related to cannabis, then it's not. But detoxification can mean so many things. So let's go through some of the things it can mean. First, let me wiggle around in my seat because my left leg is falling asleep. Okay, so the first thing that detoxification can be related to is physical detoxification. And that means any substances you may be ingesting. For example, cannabis, alcohol, Adderall. These are just coming out of my mouth. Aspirin, ibuprofen, prescription pain meds, street drugs, caffeine, sugar. Then we get into food related. So for some of you, that could be gluten if you have a sensitivity. That could be dairy if you're lactose intolerant. That could be genetically modified foods. For some people, it could be a whole dietary thing. But then there's more. It could also be doom scrolling, which means scrolling through Instagram for hours or many minutes on end, going into the fantasy land of other people's lives. Now, for you, my green fluorite crew, I'm not so sure that you doom scroll. You might check out influencers who you find motivating or inspiring. And I also think you might read maybe like news articles. Maybe you are an intellectual who enjoys getting to the source, like looking directly at a news article and reading it, or a scholarly article or research on your own. But detoxification refers to if you know you're overdoing a substance or an idea or a series of thoughts, that's something we need to look at and potentially release in order to realize this healing and experience a paradigm shift and raise the vibration. Stay positive. Okay, so now I'm getting the sense that this might very well refer to some sort of specific negative information. Staying positive kind of goes without saying. Now, quick speech about toxic positivity. And I think my beautiful green fluorite crew, you may know this better than anyone. You may be annoyed by positive people is a vibe that I'm getting, which is people who are constantly spinning everything into a positive, or, you know, putting a sprinkle of sugar on a pile of poop and then calling it a cake. It's, it could irk you. I almost feel like positivity, or the idea of positivity, irks you to your bones because it doesn't feel like a real solution. That being said, and we're going to see this when we get to the blind spot cards, because of the card, we're only pulling one because they're so juicy. We may see that what is needed here is actually for you to turn some positivity in on yourself. Because if you do look at others and kind of judge their behavior and what they do and how they roll, or what they don't do, what they do or don't do, but I feel like you might judge people for what they do. It might be time to turn that positivity in on yourself, because judgment of others suggests that we're particularly hard on ourselves. And my beautiful green fluorite, like, you deserve love, like, so much. Can I get this? If I massage the bottom of this pyramid, will that go into your heart? You deserve love. And green is associated with the heart. And I'm getting this strong feeling of you have this powerful heart. And when you love fiercely and you love loyally. But I think we need to turn that love in on yourself. That's what this staying positive means. Ooh, easy does it. This also came up in another crew a little earlier. Now, easy does it. Let me see what our next one is here. Give us your cares. Okay, so I believe this is related to mental for you, green fluorites. It is not so much, I don't get the sense. Now, for some of you, you work incredibly hard physically. You may not be attached to your job. You may not love your job. Your job may not be your passion calling, but you do not phone it in. You show up and you show out and you work hard, and that physically exhausts you. For others of you, you don't. Either you show up and phone it in. I don't get that you're the phone it in type, to be quite honest, but I feel like you mentally check out, which may make you feel guilty about phoning it in, but you mentally check out because you don't actually want to be there. And you don't want to be there because, as we saw earlier, a place where you are in your life right now is kind of a little bit existential crisis-y. Like, I don't know where I fit in. This world doesn't feel right to me. I don't like the way other people behave or what's expected of me or who I've been labeled as. So easy does it means go easy on yourself, stay positive with yourself, and give us your cares is directly connected here. Us meaning spirit, the universe, God, if you call it God, whoever you believe in as the higher power. Turn over your anxiety and your worries to that higher power, because you don't need to solve everything in your mind. You don't need to fix everything in your mind. You don't need to know everything in your mind, nor do you need to control or view what other people do. You just need to mentally relax and to start giving yourself radical love. So that's what we're going to pray for right now. Once again, whoever you pray to, we're praying to. Whoever I pray to, we're praying to. I'm not going to name any names. I'm just going to ask that my green fluorite crew begin to understand that they are so worthy of love above all else, and that their heart begins to open to see that there are people who want to connect with them. There is a tribe, even beyond the immediate people that they love and who they are loyal to. They have not met everyone who is going to love them, and that there is a place in this world for them exactly as they are, with the gifts that they have. There is a group of people who will have a compliment and an encouraging word for every discouragement that's ever been given to them by anyone else. This other group is going to multiply it by 10 and fill them up with encouragement and remind them of why they're special, include them, and let them thrive in their role. So I ask that that role be revealed to them, and that that tribe be revealed to them, and that they love themselves enough to believe that they're worthy of that. That is what I pray for you, my green fluorite crew. So on that note, let's get into the Mushroom Spirit Oracle and see what other energies and actions and information we need to know about this situation. You're doing an incredible job hanging in here. So give yourself a hug, give yourself some love, because there's a lot going on. And yeah, I can feel as I exhale and as you exhale. And I encourage you to take some deep, cleansing, purifying breaths. There is so much going on in this world, but you do not need to catalog it all, watch it all, or figure it all out. It's overwhelming for a reason, because it's not meant for you at this stage to resolve. That's why Spirit is saying, give all your cares to me. What you're meant to do is what we're going to find out right now. So Spirit, what is my green fluorite crew meant to do or know to bring healing to this situation? Okay. Oh man, I have to show the one on the back too, because it is telling me to. Okay, so another crew got this restore. I believe it was my Smoky Quartz crew. Octopus, Stinkhorn, Reveal, yes. Absolutely. Death Cap, Endings, yes. I see that. Rishi, spirit medicine. Okay, I'm gonna move you right over here. We're seeing, oh, we got another one. Did we add this one? Yes, I think we did. Okay. We're running out of room. How do my other incredible readers make everything fit? If you are a reader, please drop hints below. Okay, we're gonna make this work. Because we stay positive with ourselves, don't we, my beautiful green fluorite crew? Okay, so starting out, it's time for you to restore yourself. Where your reserves have been drained or depleted, and I'm going back to especially my green fluorites who deplete themselves mentally and physically, who are either incredibly hard workers and deplete themselves physically, and maybe don't realize that because they're checking out during the work because they don't want to be there mentally. It's time to restore. So to give yourself, I'm hearing hydration, lots of water. Mushrooms require water to be plump and radiant, and a lot of them attract water right out of the atmosphere. If you've ever grown mushrooms, and I experienced this myself, I remember after the rain, they were like swollen. Now I live in Southern California where we're typically in a drought. And this year, like a couple of months ago, we had rains like we were tropical, and I didn't expect it. So all of my pink oysters like got all swollen. But what I'm feeling here now is that you are kind of depleted, especially emotionally. And it's time to restore that, because what happens is when we use our minds too much, we actually drain our body's energy to even use our hearts. It's like the mind can siphon away energy from the heart and our ability to feel things deeply. And the reason I connect that to hydration and water is because water and cups, it's the cups suit in tarot, are representative of emotions. Now, you might be saying, I'm a hydrated queen. I just heard that pop up. So if that's you talking to me and you're a hydrated queen, I applaud you for that. Now let's hydrate your heart and start giving love back to you on a spiritual level. Octopus Stinkhorn reveal. So the fantasies, and if you're working on a creative project, it may be time to start sharing that with other people. The fantasies and worlds that exist in your mind, you have creative talent, you have creative insights, and you know what's up with people because you watch people and you know what they're doing. You see how they roll. You might know all of the chisme or gossip that's going on with friends and family, and even people you don't know, coworkers, because you see things. I'm not saying reveal anybody else's stories or spill anyone else's tea, but I am saying reveal yourself, because while you may spend a lot of time collecting information and maybe even hoarding it, there is so much internal satisfaction to be had by revealing what's inside of yourself to other people and owning your uniqueness. This is the end of isolation. So your death cap endings and your parrot wax cap isolation go together to say that here is the overall theme of these cards. You have been in isolation for so long, living in a world of your own making in your own mind. And this could have contributed to anxiety. It could contribute to all sorts of feelings and all sorts of physiological and psychological situations where you can't relate to anyone or you feel separate from everyone. And that's incredibly stressful. That is coming to an end with this healing and with this raising of your vibration. Isolation is on its way out, and instead now we have revealing. Now, Rishi, spirit medicine. You have a healing gift. You have the ability to not only heal your own heart, but to also help heal others through your insights and your creativity. So the spirit medicine, whether it is, again, whether you use cannabis as medicine, or whether you utilize sex magic or some kind of other intuitive spiritual practice, maybe it's a meditation or guided visualizations, or maybe you use psychedelics or entheogens, as sometimes they're preferred to be called. whatever it is, you have a medicine and you have a gift and you have a knowledge of something, and your love of discovering and the unknown, which is, I think, why you've been trapped in your own reality for a while now, in your own mind, is because there was so much to discover there. It's time to reveal it. So the things where you've wandered into the darkness and found information and just kind of held on to it for yourself through these pathways of maybe plant medicine or meditation or just vivid imagination. And if you're getting high, maybe that's what it is. Like if you smoke cannabis or eat cannabis or whatever, maybe it's very fantastical for you. Whatever it is you've learned or you've been holding on to, or observations about other people that you've made where you've actually developed a handbook or a playbook by which they could experience healing, or they could get their ducks in a row or fix their wagon. Maybe you have insight to people that they would benefit from hearing. It's time to reveal that. This is your time. Isolation is coming to an end, and restoration and healing of your heart is going to be the catalyst to this new phase that you enter into, where you are a member of the tribe, where you have a designated place, not with a small tribe of people who you just like vibe with. You might have a small tribe of people who you just vibe with, and you might say, that's enough. You might have no tribe, and you might have convinced yourself that that was enough. But I hear a cry for community here, and I feel that Spirit is pushing you out of this isolation because you have gifts to give, and you have medicine to give, and it's time to start giving it. So this is kind of speaking to me as what the result of this this phase, it's coming to an end, and this is going to be the outcome. So now let's look at the very exciting blind spot oracle. This, as I was telling my beautiful Smoky Quartz crew, can be kind of a punch in the gut. And I use the example of the Heimlich maneuver to say a punch in the gut is not a bad thing. It can be a life-saving thing. I don't know what that was. This is a very difficult deck to shuffle. It's not very flexible, and when I read to you the description, it is very tell it like it is, but I have a feeling you're going to appreciate that. So let's ask Spirit. Excuse me. Wow. Am I coughing with you? Are we coughing together? What is the blind spot that you, my beautiful, wow, we're not shuffling this, my beautiful green fluorite crew has not been seeing, that by seeing they are going to awaken to a new frequency and vibration and experience a healing? We're just going to manually do this because, this, so many secrets in these cards, and I feel like they're all trying to pop out at once. But we want the most powerful, potent blind spot, please. So please serve the most powerful, potent blind spot. 22. Okay. So this is a sigil designed by the author that, just by looking at, begins to awaken and address some of the energetic incongruencies that are causing this blind spot. In other words, there's something called entrainment, which we know about mostly through music, but I have a feeling that you, my beautiful green fluorite crew, know about entrainment. You know that you can entrain with music, you can entrain with art, you can entrain with your own mind, you can entrain with substances. So you can entrain with this sigil. So let's see what it is. Number 22. I have pulled this one myself quite a few times. So it's an old friend. If you want to screenshot it to read it in depth and just skip over my lengthy reading, you are more than welcome. 22 here. And all of this here. And I would like to point out that 22 is a master number, meaning it cannot be reduced. And in this case, I feel that it is relating to the end of some kind of duality. So let's take a look. Get comfortable, because this is going to take a couple of minutes. Endurism. If you have drawn this sigil, right now you are enduring something that you should not be enduring. You are probably telling yourself that it is good enough, Think about these common sayings. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. No pain, no gain. Or, it is what it is. These sayings all have one thing in common. They help you to release resistance to a situation where you feel helpless to get out of a painful circumstance. Releasing resistance is a good thing. So where is the harm in these sayings? The harm is that they can serve as justifications for not actively making changes so as to move beyond a painful situation. They can serve to keep you stuck in pain. We know the danger of escapism. We know the pain of being around a fair weather friend. We feel the frustration of spiritual bypassing. Many of us have a fairly good grasp of this concept, that running away from pain and from things that scare us is not the way to create a fulfilling life. But we need to be aware that there is danger at the other side of the spectrum as well. There is a danger in becoming attached to pain, unwilling to leave it. This is endurism. Endurism is just as unhealthy as escapism. It is a coping strategy for dealing with the perception that you are helpless to have your needs met. But it is one that ensures you will spend your life coping with a painful life instead of creating a life you enjoy. We believe there is serious virtue in suffering. We stay in situations and perpetuate situations that are causing us pain so we can feel as though we are good and are doing what's right. In endurism, we are in fact escaping something. That something is the fear of making a change and the responsibility required to actually make that change. Our ego fears that by making the change that will enable us to progress and reach our joy, we will become a bad person and therefore lose connection with the people and things we want to be connected to. In relationships, we develop the idea that if someone loves us, they will endure any amount of pain to be with us. And in the opposite scenario, if we love someone, we will endure any amount of pain to be with them. In fact, over the course of our relationships, we may even begin to incrementally cause other people pain and put them in painful situations with us. We are doing this subconsciously but deliberately to try to create the experience of someone loving us so much that they will endure anything to be with us. They may also be doing the same to us, and we are enduring it. Be aware that when you look at the endurism you are engaged in relative to your life, you are going to become very defensive. You are going to find all kinds of reasons why it is good or right to perpetuate your painful situation. Your reasoning is preventing progress. You have plenty of incredibly valid reasons to justify your endurism. No one is trying to convince you that your reasons are not valid. But your valid reasons aren't good enough to justify living a miserable life. In this situation, you are on a boat in the ocean. You don't like that boat, so you desire a different boat. So it comes, but you still won't get off your old boat. You have lots of reasons for not getting off your old boat. So the universe says, I'm going to have to make it easier for them to get off their old boat and onto the new one. So I'm going to poke holes in the old boat. But when the boat starts to spring leaks, instead of jumping on the new boat, you run around trying to patch up the holes on your old boat. Eventually, the only way to get onto your new boat is for the universe to quite literally sink your boat, so you end up in the water with a choice to drown or get on the new boat. If you have drawn this sigil, become acutely aware of the situations in your life you think you have to endure. Get really aware about the excuses you make to justify enduring those situations. Look for ways you actually do have a choice in situations you feel stuck in. Look at things you could actually do to make a change. Take your power back. My beautiful green fluorite crew, take your power back. Number 22. If you want to screenshot this, I love to make these backgrounds on my phone or just look at them in my photos from time to time. I'm a big fan of entraining with art. So please feel free to do that. I'll even take my hands out if that's something you'd love to do. And finally, my beautiful green fluorite crew, we are going to get final messages from your guides on any advice they have for you related to this, taking your power back, realizing that you have the ability to be part of the community you desire being part of, be validated for your gifts and all of your wild imaginings and creativity, accept that love opportunity, if that's something that's on your mind and that's motivating you. So let's see, Spirit, my green fluorite crew. Oh, okay. What do they need to know? Worthiness. Oh, my beautiful green florites. Oh, my goodness. Are you okay? Know you deserve to receive good in all ways. That's worthiness. That is what I'm always trying to remind you, my beauties, is that above all, you deserve love. Soulmate relationship. Okay, I had a feeling this one was going to come out. Connected back to that opportunity for love. New romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. You could be very close to or already in partnership with a fulfilling romance. We can talk about soulmates and twin flames at another time. But what I know for now, I think this is the only romance card in this deck. So don't attach to the soulmate portion, but do understand that if you're feeling motivated to heal and raise your own vibration and love yourself, because there's a potential for love and you can feel it, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that. And blessed change, a major life change brings you great blessings. This is what we saw here in your mushroom oracles, is that you're going to experience restoration if you allow your heart to open. It's time to reveal. You have spirit medicine to give. Discovery and unknown is coming, and you are at the end of isolation. So just revisiting that, blessed change is coming, and we knew that. We saw that coming. So my beautiful green fluorite crew, thank you so much for joining me and letting me feel your energy and read for you. It has been an absolute pleasure. If you resonated with this reading, feel free to give it a like. If you want to comment about your experience hearing all of this, I'd love to hear it. And if you're into these readings and like I do, you fall down the rabbit hole, feel free to subscribe because it's so much fun to read for you. And if you enjoy it, then I want to do it. So go out there, know that you are worthy of love above all else, and we will talk again soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew. You selected the Shaman Quartz, which is an incredible beauty. I'm not sure what the chemical composition of these inclusions are, but I remember being very impressed when I read it. And I know that Shaman Quartz is amazing for psychic visions, lucid dreaming, magic of any kind. So if you are imaginative or spiritual, and I'm already getting that sense, I can see why you chose Shaman Quartz. Or maybe you are on the verge of a spiritual discovery and you've just gotten a little bit curious about this stuff. Like, you're curious. You're spirituality curious. You're thinking, okay, I've seen a few tarot readings. Or I've seen a few videos recommended to me. Maybe had your palm read or just dabbled. Been to a meditation class or heard something about this in yoga. Or saw it in a movie. Or like maybe the Wednesday Addams, the newest show on Netflix, or you just saw something that inspired you to get curious about spirituality, and here you are. Or perhaps you're an old hand, not to make another Wednesday Addams reference, but maybe you know a lot about this already. Whatever the case, welcome. I fully support and welcome your curious vibes. The first thing we're going to do is shuffle up this brand new deck, the Mushroom Hunter's Tarot, never before used by me. So we are going to use this deck to see who you are and what you are experiencing as far as health, overall wellness, body, mind, and spirit. We're not going to break it down in that much detail. I'm just going to get a big picture look so that we move then forward through several oracle decks and understand what you can do to raise that vibration and potentially experience powerful healing. Better. But I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. And I hope you love mushrooms. There's been kind of a mushroom theme throughout this whole reading. And I think it's because we've been in the forest here. And by that I mean my backdrop. Oops. Ooh, interesting. Will she come back up, I wonder? So Spirit, for my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew, who are they and what are they experiencing right now? Physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is, an obstacle or something that they're running up against, and they just want to raise their vibration. realize a dream, perhaps. Break through something. Come out on the other side of something. What is it? What is it? We're getting 5. Beautiful. And this to me looks like an iris. There's a cool place here in Los Angeles called Cosmic Eye, and they do iris photography, which I had done and was super impressed by it. Let's just look at the back real quick. It kind of looks like an iris to me, which I think is awesome. Okay. Ooh, the Lovers in reverse. We have the King of Wands in reverse. We have the Two of Cups in reverse. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. And we have the Knight of Cups upright. Wow, wowie, my Shaman Quartz crew. First of all, can I just say, you do deserve love above all else, okay? I say this because every time I start out a spread to get a picture of what's going on here, and I'm getting major love and romance vibes. I'm not even sure that there is a physical ailment in this situation. We'll dive a little bit more into that. But right now, I'm getting major love and romance vibes, and the first thing I think and feel when I spread out any deck like this and begin to tap in and tune into the energy is there's always a little bit of a lack of love, because we're here, and when I say we, I mean me too. We're here to find out what's off, how we can raise our vibration so that we can create some kind of desired outcome or some kind of desired alignment that will give us this fulfilling, beautiful, rich future. And inevitably, we do that because we're trying to feel more love. Some desire or some dream that we have is to feel more love and to feel more loved, either by ourselves or somebody else. And that is why we gravitate towards these spaces and these places. It's why we do all that we do. So as I see this, I'm giving you a massive hug. This is a hand hug. And I'm saying to you, you are so worthy of love. Above all else, you deserve so much love, my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew. So I'm getting major romantic vibes here right off the bat. There's some kind of emotional intimacy blockage. The first thing is either you're in love or you want to be in love. You have your eye on somebody. You might very well know who your either soulmate or divine counterpart or twin flame, if you enjoy those terms, or just who your lover or intended person is. And you might be separated from them right now. You may not be even speaking with them, or you might just be keeping your distance. You also might not be in an active relationship with them or have initiated a romantic connection with them, but you want to. Like, you've got your eye on this person and you might be daydreaming about them a little bit here, like my Knight of Cups with his banjo. But you haven't taken an action in their direction. You want to. You very much want to. And maybe it has to do with something sexual. If there is an ailment here, maybe there's a fear of revealing your body. Maybe there is something to do with sexual organs or sexual performance that might resonate for some of you, or insecurity about sexuality, or just a deep shyness and fear of intimacy because perhaps you've never felt feelings towards someone like this before, and you are unsure that they are A, going to be reciprocated, or B, that there's going to be attraction there. Maybe you're not sure if you're attractive. You are, by the way, just so you know. You are. But maybe you're not sure that you are. And maybe me, a pair of, as Esoterro always says, talking hands on the internet is not enough to reassure you of that, and that's totally fine. I think, well, as we move on, I'll know more, but I think you are going to be reassured of that by virtue of unfolding circumstances somewhat soon in the future here. But what I do see is that there is a fear of intimacy or a fear of getting into a relationship or feeling like you're being blocked from one, either with a specific person or in general. You would like to take initiative toward a certain person, or you would like to just feel empowered in your own love life. We have the King of Wands here in reverse. Now, the King of Wands is typically a charismatic, fiery, passionate, intuitive person who knows their own sexual attractiveness and what they have to offer, and does typically feel relatively desirable in their own natural state. But we have that in reverse here, which indicates that there is... We also have, I'm noticing with this deck, I'm not sure if this is a troll. I mean, the hat makes me feel like it's a troll energy, but we have this almost hermit-looking figure. And so I'm sensing that there's some kind of loneliness. There's like fear of coming out of this state of loneliness, that you've either been single for a long time, or for a few of you, maybe went through a relatively bad breakup recently and feel like you should be single right now, but you're already tired of it and you want to move forward. You want to feel attractive again. You want to be validated again. I completely understand. And then there's the Two of Cups, which is our quintessential, I almost said quintessential, but I meant to say quintessential romance card, the offering of a romance. Beautifully said, thank you. And here we have it represented as 2 wine glasses. I'm getting a vineyard. I live in Southern California, so I'm thinking Temecula vibes, but it could be, or oh my goodness, another famous place, but I don't drink a lot of wine, at least not knowledgeably. That's a whole other rant for another time. Long story short, this is our romance card, and usually our love connection card, but that's also in reverse here. Then we have the Knight of Swords, also in reverse. Now the Knight of Swords can be an impulsive energy. Here we see a long-haired figure, and please keep in mind when I say king and knight, this isn't gender specific. This is an energy. And when we have knights and kings, it's a projective energy, an action-related energy. It's usually about, in this case of swords, often about communication or thoughts. Air is all about thoughts. So maybe you want to share something with someone specific, but you haven't been able to, or just express your feelings, but you haven't been able to. Instead, we have the Knight of Cups, who's usually very active. The knights, they're in motion of some kind, as we see with the Knight of Swords here. They nailed that. But in this deck, I see the Knight of Cups being represented totally as a dreamer. And I think that's perfect for your energy here, because once again, it's like, I'm dreaming, I'm fantasizing about this, but I'm not taking action for whatever reason. There is some kind of blockage. So now that we have the general understanding of what's going on here, let's find out what's required to raise your vibration, get you to the point of initiation, get some kind of heart healing or whatever type of healing is required to go on here, because I think it is heart related. And even if you've just been through a terrible breakup, which if that's true, I am so sorry, my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew, it hurts. Breaking up is really hard to do. And I'm so sorry if that's the situation you're in. Even if you've had a heartbreak here, I feel like love is still on your mind, either reconciliation with someone else or yourself, or initiating some kind of romance. So if it's a heart healing, we're doing a heart healing. Let's get into it. So here we have Archangel Raphael Oracle cards, healing deck. Healing deck, just to clarify, in case the enunciation wasn't right there. We are here. Yes, my speech about angels. Even if you don't believe in angels, angels are a symbol, an archetype for a deeper energy that goes beyond imagery and legend or culture or belief or religion. Angels are represented sometimes by geometric shapes, by colors, by energies. People can feel angels and think they're just feeling like good vibes, because angels can show up in any form. So if you don't believe in angels, don't worry. You don't have to. Understand that it's an energy. So Spirit, for my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew, what do they need to know to begin the healing and the leveling up of their frequency and vibration? Exercise is key. Okay, so right away, if you're thinking this is to get fit or to, get abs or biceps or triceps, or for aesthetic purposes, I'm going to lovingly, with my entire loving heart, say that you are so beautiful and so worthy of love exactly as you are. There is no need to change your aesthetics or your physicality. Exercise is key because it will bring in confidence. It will ground you. It will get you in your body. And when your mind and heart are seated in the body and the spirit is seated in the body, there's a tremendous amount of empowerment that takes place. It can, obviously, endorphins, boost your endorphins, serotonin. I think, nope, not oxytocin. I am forgetting the name of the third chemical that comes to me, but I think serotonin is a big player here. It's just going to raise your vibration because you're going to be in your body getting physical with yourself. And when we're craving romance and we're craving a love connection, we don't just necessarily want our heart touched. Sometimes we want to feel our body touched too. And if we can exercise, we can get in touch with our own bodies and begin the process of feeling empowered in our own skin. Easy does it. Okay. 3 piles have received the Easy Does It card. And I think it goes hand in hand with exercise is key. We don't want to work ourselves into, like, I don't want you to feel like you have to do to get to some destination. I feel like for my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew, I get the sense that you feel sometimes like you have to make everything happen. You either have to earn enough money or get the physique or move, get into the right house, change your wardrobe, hurry up and rush through a therapy protocol so you can be quote unquote healed in order to be ready for love. But you're worthy and ready of love right now. You were worthy and ready of love when you were born, and you'll be worthy and ready of love when you lay this body down. So easy does it. Don't overdo it. Take it easy, and just understand you're worthy right now. Forgiveness heals. Okay. So if you did go through a breakup, or are going through one now, are separated from somebody that you love, are wanting a reconciliation but have not initiated it, don't know how to initiate it, for whatever reason there is an action, that's okay. There doesn't have to be action right now. What there needs to be is forgiveness for yourself. Forgive yourself for anything that you did, any misunderstandings. Forgive yourself for not taking the action that maybe you've been dreaming of taking or wanting to take. Easy does it. Please go easy on yourself, my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew. You're magicians, you're magical. That's what the Shaman Quartz is. You have everything that it takes to get where you want to go, but right now there is a reason that everything's on hold. There is a reason that there was some kind of combustion and maybe explosion. There were reasons for what happened, but they're out of your control now. So what we need to do is work on forgiving. We work on forgiving yourself, and if it's relevant, we work on forgiving the other person. If this is a breakup, or if this is maybe a relationship that you're actually in, where you feel like the romance isn't anymore, which I feel for a select few, it may be that you're in a relationship and you feel like the romance just isn't there right now. Forgive both yourself and forgive the other person. I see that here, 2 angels, and it looks like an angel is healing somebody. But I also see this as 2 people forgiving one another, like someone extending forgiveness to someone else and this person receiving it like, oh, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, detoxification. Okay, so detoxification and Easy Does It have been coming up this entire reading for every pile. Every crew has gotten one of these cards, if not both. So this must be at the time I'm filming this, which is April 28th, 2023. This must be a global collective energy that's going on here. And that doesn't surprise me at all, because collectively we've been having a huge 5th dimension ascension. If that's something you'd like to hear more about or hear a reading on, please feel free to comment it below. But needless to say, we've all been leaving a lot behind. So And we need to be gentle with ourselves while doing it. So detoxification may mean let go of some substances. If you use substances, let go of sugar, caffeine potentially, prescription medication, recreational drugs. It could also mean genetically modified foods. If you have intolerances to certain foods, it may mean that. But on a more spiritual level, it also means detoxifying of negative thoughts toward yourself. Please stop barraging yourself with guilt or creating scenarios in your mind where you're working out how you're going to apologize or how you're going to say something or how you're going to beg for forgiveness. You don't have to beg for forgiveness. You have to extend forgiveness to yourself. That's something that I'm hearing right now. So, my beautiful shaman quartz, let's go ahead and say a prayer. Let's say the prayer for you. To whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in, I'm going to pray to who you believe in and what you believe in and what I believe in. So to those forces that my beautiful shaman quartz believes in and that I believe in as well, I pray that my crew profoundly forgives themselves for both the actions they have taken and the actions they have not taken. And I pray that they release the swirling, ruminating, anxious thoughts of not being worthy. I pray that they recognize that they are so worthy of love right now, exactly as they are, and are going to feel that. As a result of this healing, they are going to level up to a place where love comes running after them, chasing them. That could be literally, or it could be kind of like an energy that inspires others into action. I pray that if they are contemplating an action, they trust that if they go easy on themselves and they keep nourishing and building their own body and maybe exercising the power of thinking positively, they're going to be guided to the right action at the right time. But most of all, I pray that my beautiful shaman quartzes just be gentle with themselves, because what they deserve is love and understanding. That's what I pray for you. So let's take a look at some of the energies that are coming in and that are existing right now that we need to understand as a result of this healing. And this is using the Mushroom Spirit Oracle deck. Oops. Either as a result of this healing or as that require healing. Let's see what the energies are here. So Spirit, for my shaman quartz crew, what is it that is either an action that can be taken toward healing or is something that they are going to experience as a result of healing? Show me now what we need to know here. Okay, 4. So starting with rarity. Oh, blue pink gill. This is beautiful. Now 1 and 8 does reduce to 9 if you add it both up. And 9 is a number of fruition. It is so close to completion. It's something that is right at the brink, right at the cusp, right before a tremendous shift occurs, is when we have our number 9. And rarity, you are rare. My beautiful shaman quartz crew, you need to understand that you are rare and you are special and you are worthy of love. You are a rarity. And seeing these two blue pink bill side by side, first of all, reminds me of the 2 of Cups upright, even though the number is 9, but that kind of reminds me of the 9 of Cups, which is the wish card in love, like make a wish, you can manifest love. For you, I'm getting this feeling of you are so close to this. You don't have to effort it. You don't have to willpower it. You just have to understand who you are, and self-love, who you are and what you deserve. The split gill, adapt. So is there something happening, an unexpected development that you didn't see happening in this situation that stumped your action? Like you had something planned and then something developed or occurred. Maybe you got like what felt like a micro rejection from this person. Or maybe you you experienced your own circumstance, that maybe it was financial, or maybe it was travel or work related, I'm hearing, or just something unexpected that kind of put the roadblock in your plans. Maybe it was a legal matter, if it's related to some kind of like divorce proceeding or something to do with, I'm feeling like that's going to be for a lot fewer of you, but maybe it was just some external thing that happened, and now you're going to need to adapt in order to raise this vibration and heal and fully step into your power. It is going to involve you adapting and maybe leaning into a spiritual practice if you have one. Okay, I'm seeing the isolation card, 30, which reduces to 3, which is interesting because 3 is a card of community oftentimes and communication. So let's see what this final card is. Oh my goodness. So your cards are sandwiched between rarity and unique. This is your spectrum, and on both sides, you're rare and you're unique. This is a unique situation. And I feel like this isolation card is saying that right now it's okay to be isolated. You may feel guilty for it, or just be ready for that to be over because you want to leap so hard into this love. And I totally understand that because you deserve love. So of course you want to leap into it. But right now it is okay to be isolated. It's okay to take your time and understand that because you're rare and you're unique, and I'm hearing Selena Gomez's song Rare. It's a bop. I recommend that one. I'm so rare. You're rare and you're unique, and so is this situation. So all of the standard traditional methods of dealing with this sort of thing don't apply. And that's what's making this so tricky, because I think you're an intelligent person who is curious and typically very good with coming up with solutions and, you know, resolving things and dancing around almost like in a Gemini energy sort of fashion. I think Gemini because of adaptability, but that could also be Sagittarius, that could be Libra with restoring their own balance. It doesn't, your sign is not dictating this situation because there's so much going on with this situation that's being controlled by outside forces. And I think one of those forces is forcing you to be in isolation for a reason. This is actually contributing to your healing and to your ascension and to your next level vibration to prepare you for this love. So it might not be quite the obstacle that you thought it was. And that's good news. So now let's take a look at, in my humble opinion, I'm Ho, as it's abbreviated by the kids. Let's look at what your potential blind spot is. I learned the hard way in, my last pile, that trying to shuffle this the way I'd like to is pretty much impossible. Okay, I'll try it once just so you can see, so you can get a laugh out of it. Yeah. I want to shuffle it that way because I don't want to take any in reverse, because reverse doesn't apply to this oracle deck. But these guys just don't bend. They are very sturdy. So, flexibility, that's what's needed here. That's what's needed. So, Spirit, we'd like to know, this is the Blind Spot Oracle by Teal Swan. We'd like to know what my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew isn't seeing right now. This deck does not pull any punches, so prepare for a wild and exciting ride. I'm going to read to you the entire lengthy description because that's where the power is. So please show us, Spirit, where my beautiful, Shaman Quartz crew's blind spot is. Okay, 44, a master number, fascinating. Okay, so there's absolutely nothing on the card but this sigil. The artist on the deck says that this sigil, when you entrain with it, does have the ability to shift your energy in a healing direction and actually cause a sort of awakening. So I'm going to remove my hands in case you'd like to take a screenshot. You're more than welcome to do that. And I can hold it up a little closer if you want to kind of meditate with this. Set it as your phone background. Keep it in your photos. I do that too. Let's get started. Let's dive into the book. So number 44. Aha. Okay, here it is. Expectations. If you want to screenshot this and skip over me reading, you're more than welcome to. You can read it on your own later. But I'm going to read now. If you have drawn this sigil, expectations are creating intense resistance in the situation you are in. You are most likely not being honest about your actual expectations. As a result, you tend to be disappointed and you are apt to be on a totally different page than other people. We all have expectations. These expectations may be conscious or they may be subconscious. Most expectations are subconscious. This means you may know what some of your expectations are, and you may not know that you have certain expectations, even though you do. To expect something is to believe with confidence that it will happen. Expectation often implies the attitude that something should happen or should be a certain way. To assume is to take something for granted or to suppose it is true, even without having any proof. Looking at that definition, can you see how often we do this? Our expectations are set up by previous experiences, such as things with our culture and society, by watching the relationships around us when we are little, and by our previous interactions with people. We have a way of assuming that everyone else's sense of reality is the same as ours, and getting confused when there is a conflict of expectations. Just ask a couple from different cultural backgrounds. A relationship with someone from another culture will show you really quickly just how different people's expectations in a relationship can be. We do not often communicate our expectations to other people, and this is especially true in relationships. We do this because we are often not conscious of what those expectations are until they aren't met. And we do not often communicate our expectations because they reflect our needs, and we have been taught that it isn't okay to have needs. When we can't directly voice our needs, we often manipulate to fulfill them. We do things and say things specifically to get the desired reaction out of someone. One of the best things about being upset in a situation is that it is the perfect opportunity to figure out your subconscious expectations and assumptions. If you have drawn this sigil, you are being asked to become aware of your expectations in this situation. Then you must decide consciously if you want to maintain those expectations or let them go. If you want to maintain them, you must communicate them to the people involved so that they have the chance to either agree to them or not agree to them. Only then can you decide what is in the best interest of everyone. So there you go, my Shaman Quartz crew. It sounds like expectations that you have related to this person, if this is indeed a romantic situation, either expectations that you'll be rejected or expectations that your needs won't be met, or expectations that they're not going to understand or they're going to be angry. It's like you've created a reality in your head that you're living every day, maybe even every moment of every day, but it isn't the truth of the situation. So address your expectations, modify them accordingly, decide what you really want to happen or need to happen, and then communicate that truth. So finally, we're going to ask your guides for any last tips, any last information for you from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck. Thank you so much for being here. My beautiful Shaman Quartz crew. I know this situation is disheartening and you may feel lonely in it right now. I know I've said already that above all, you deserve love, and I just want to remind you of that because so many of these insecurities surrounding communication and potential rejection and just how messy a situation can get or has already gotten becomes scarier when we don't understand how valuable we really are and how much we deserve love. You deserve to be able to communicate clearly and to get your needs met. So Spirit, what last things does my Shaman Quartz crew need to know? Four. All right. Self-forgiveness. This goes right back to what we talked about. Let go of old guilt and remember that you are God's perfect child. If you did something or you feel like you did something in connection to this potential offer that you want to make or this romantic experience that you're considering, or you've already had some kind of conflict and you're not speaking, or you want to reconcile, first forgive yourself. and realize you are worthy of forgiveness. First and foremost from yourself. Then you can move on to expecting it from others, but start with yourself. Ooh, treasure chest. An unforeseen windfall of new abundance comes to you now. So I feel like this is going to be love related. I think what you're looking for is literally on the other side of fear. And once you transcend this fear of whatever it is that you're running up against right now, you are going to be hit with a windfall of love so powerful. I get chills just to think of it. You know, I mean, we're all worthy of that love, and you're going to receive it. Ready, set, go. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desires. That's for you. Go into the water. Dive into the emotions. Dive into the ocean, which is what emotions are. Be vulnerable. Confess what you feel. Take a risk. Take a chance. And know that you still have yourself, who is wonderful, no matter what happens. But I think what's going to happen is you are going to be well received. And mother healing. As your feelings toward your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly and accurately. So this doesn't have to be toward your actual mother, although it absolutely can be. It can be toward Mother Earth. It can be towards your own creativity. It can be towards your own ability to nurture. It can be toward a mother figure or a mother in your life, perhaps your partner who is a mother or who is acting in a maternal nurturing capacity. Allow yourself to understand what it means to be a mother. There is often a direct connection when we're a mother to our child, or if we're creative, to the thing we created. And that attachment becomes almost a chain. And through that chain, we can absorb all kinds of wounds. And when we're the mother figure, we can give all kinds of wounds. To heal is to forgive. So forgive your mother figure, forgive yourself if you're a mother, if you're a creative, or if you've been holding on too tightly to a project or something that you want to nurture or that has tried to nurture you but instead has impressed you. Extend that same forgiveness to both of you. Because in the end, everyone does the best with what they can and what they have. So, my beautiful Shaman Quartz crew, that is where I am leaving you today. Thank you so much for letting me feel and read your energy. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you resonated with the reading, please feel free to comment and tell me your stories or like. And if you want to see more and you want to come to my house more often, subscribe so that you can always come in through a window or a door. I'm sending you all the love I got. And remember, above all, you deserve love.